bad boy mower you have there. Love to see the maintenance records that you've done on that. That's a public records request. And so that facilities person that's mowing the lawn should know that they need to get some information from that individual to adequately respond to that request. As silly as that might seem, we all have a responsibility of understanding what public records requests are and how we need to respond to them. So especially for the separately electeds, the departments that work directly for the commissioner's office, we can force them to. Separately electeds may have your own process in place, but please utilize us. I know the sheriff's office probably has thousands of public records requests that they respond to on an annual basis.
70 to 80% of the county's public disclosure requests is our office.
And have a very structured process in place for responding, individuals assigned to respond.
That's Chief Byer.
Yeah, so you've got a structure in place to do that.
Requests of me that actually need to be rigged.
Yeah. So I think that's my concern here is just making sure that we have those things in place. And some offices and departments that don't receive those, please reach out to us. Definitely would love to see the information from the sheriff's office entered in GovQA also, because
Are we not doing that right now?
you are doing that.
We are.
And from the person behind you, it sounds like you're doing it well. But it's important to do that because that's something that the legislature put in place to track, right? So oftentimes governmental entities come to the ledge and say, you really need to modify these public records request laws and kind of protect counties from these individuals that are just looking to make money out of the deal. And so they put this process in place to actually look and value the cost of responding to public records requests so that they can understand how big that problem is. And if we can represent the true costs associated with public records requests, then I think we have a higher likelihood that the legislature might make some modifications to public records law that help protect us from the individuals that are just looking to get money out of the deal. Information is our responsibility, and we will always be required to provide information as a public entity, but please utilize CAMI.
Tammy did a great job. She came to our office and did a training at our staff meeting and did a wonderful job.
And she's available to do those trainings, so I think it's a great idea to periodically just kind of refresh all of our staff about public records. She also does trainings that she lines up with Attorney General's office, and they come in and have some experts that do that. So if you see those, please send somebody from your office or department to those things so that they can get updated on what's going on, maybe even just be aware of names that are prolific out in this world of doing public records requests, so we can pay attention to those. With that, I'll pass it on to Jen to give us a budget update.
Before you do, folks, there may still be a conversation that comes up shortly because of what's just happened, that we may be talking about a policy that would be encompassing of the county and everybody at one point, to make sure we have the best way to handle public records, to make sure that things like this don't happen again. So just be aware of that so that you can participate in that discussion when the time comes. Go ahead.
I actually forgot about one more exciting opportunity that we have for you guys that was kind of part of the reorg, but kind of happened at a similar time, a little bit before the reorg, but the commissioners authorized the hiring of a grant writer. So we actually have an individual, Tanessa. She lives here in Shelton, and she previously was the sole grant writer for the South Puget Sound Intertribal Planning Agency. So it was a consortium of the Chehalis, Nisqually, Shoalwater Bay, Skokomish, and Squaxin Island tribes. She worked on federal and state grants for all of this organization's programs and offered technical support to grant writers and planners at the tribes SPIPA, the tribes that they serve. Tanessa is a board member and co-president of the Puget Sound Grant Writers Association. She previously worked in education, including teaching in the North Mason and Shelton school districts. She loves to learn and is excited to be writing grants in the community where she lives. So we are setting up meetings with you guys to talk and introduce Tanessa to you. Think about that in terms of what opportunities could we utilize her for to help us to get funds to come in and do things that we may not be able to do with our own funds. So really would encourage you to reach out to Tanessa and let's get her to work quickly. And I think that is if we get her to work and she can actually start applying for grants and receiving grants, then publicly we can show the value of having this position in place and the additional funds that it brings to the county. So please utilize Tanessa. All right, Jen, I'll let you go.
Okay, thank you. So the 2025 budget preparation is well underway, as most of you, all of you know. Last week, we finished up the first round of budget workshops with departments. The next budget workshop will be next Tuesday, the 22nd, where we'll start looking at the policy level requests a little closer and making decisions. The commissioners will make decisions on some of those requests. And the public hearing for the budget is going to be scheduled for December 2nd to hopefully adopt at that time. So that's about it. Made up some time there.
You're awesome, thank you. Anything further, Mark?
Nope.
Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next phase of this. I wanna remind everybody, it's gonna take an hour at least to go through this, so there's a 5-minute limit. If you really gotta speak after the 5 minutes though, because I will say something gently to probably cut it off. If you really wanna say something, you just say, hey, I've got one more thing. And, we'll take care of it, we always do. So with that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and lead off with Patty.
Next time maybe go opposite so Dan can go.
Yeah, I guess.
We should do that. That's a good idea.
That's right. All right. So update for the assessor's office, we just sent out our notice of values for the 2025 tax year. So coinciding with elections and second half statements. They're about 6 weeks behind from last year. We were down an appraiser and just with the abundance of board appeals, we're finally got those out in the mail. So they're dated 10/11. You can pass these around. We went, there was a problem with the copier, so there's a line on the back. But if you want to pass these out, these were inserts that we put in, all of the notice of values, just kind of an update of our policy and how we write a value and everything, because when we made our field appraisers, we went back to a full page notice of value versus the postcards with the insert. We also did a press release in the paper that was a very good write-up and everything to explain the whole process. So they're marked 10/11. The last day of appeal is going to be November 12th because of the holiday. So we are also steered away from the orange slips that Randy saw last year. We created in Teams a log that we're all logging into the system to push it through the office. So far, we've logged about 12 calls. It hasn't been as hectic. Yesterday was Columbus Day, so there was no mail. So I expect the calls and stuff to pick up today. We have about 2,400 e-filers, so they get theirs right away in their emails. So I encourage everybody to sign up for those. In addition, in April, in the meeting, the new field devices, we did use those. They worked very well. They're in 100%. We can't do all the changes in them yet, but it was a very rural area all the way out to Matlock, so I went out a couple days and learned them out there, and they work. They're very handy. Great picture taking. It was almost like 30 to 40 clicks just to load a photo from your camera to the system. So now you just take it, it marks it to the parcel. So that's exciting, but yeah, it's a great tool. Next year's inspection area is going to be Area 2, which is the city of Shelton and just kind of the outskirts towards Dayton and just a little bit around the outside. We did in the insert, we emphasized about the appraisers not needing to make appointments, meet the appraisers. They're always in marked cars with your orange vest, so they're not volunteers. We don't work on Sundays. We're trying to clear up that confusion. So hopefully this next inspection area will be starting up here pretty soon. As far as last year's appeals, there were 623 board appeals filed. There was 11 incomplete, 147 withdrawn, 152 was what we call an assessment roll correction, where we stipulate the value with the taxpayer if we cannot support it. 29 were denied, 203 sustained, so they upheld our value. 23 were overruled, 14 were adjusted just because during the hearing something came up about the parcel that we were on, so we agreed at the hearing. The changes for the senior exemption is 55,000 from 40,000, so we have more. I meant to get a parcel count, the more taxpayers are able to qualify. So we do audit that same area that we inspect along with a different area. So we did 2/6 of the county for the renewals of the applications, just checking on the seniors. We're doing several house calls to people that can't come in. So me and Sherry go out in the field and we meet with the taxpayers if they're unable to come in. let's see, so we did the designated forest land current use farm and ag programs. We did audit them, also the inspection area, just to make sure people are compliant and that they have an updated, management plan in place, you know, or they know they are even in a program, because some people inherit property and they don't even know it. So we worked with a lot of taxpayers to make them compliant, or they just got it removed just because they're not and they just didn't want to continue anymore. Let's see. Personal property is business accounts. We've already sent out those summaries. We got our ratio back last week. We're at 94.3. So Araceli is my personal property clerk, levy clerk, and she did a very good job with that. So let's see, I covered the next area. Notice of values. So yeah, we're up to, you know, we got 13 staff. My newest one finally had her year anniversary. We're all working well together. Our segregation department, we don't write up segs anymore. It's all paperless, so that's all through Teams. We move them through folders. So between, I mean, Teams is a great tool if you utilize it correctly. So yeah, I got forced to use it, and it's working really good. So it's yeah, learning's hard, but yeah, we're all paperless for the segregations, the orange slips. Everything's logged through the computer, and it just gets assigned to, you know, throughout the whole day. And so far, I mean, there was a few calls and customers when I was walking down here, so hopefully it's not too busy. That's why Sierra's up here, not down here. She's logging some calls, so.
Thank you.
And that's it. So yeah, enjoy your insert or look it over. But yeah, encourage people to e-file. They get their notices sooner than later and saves postage. And
Thank you, Patty. I gotta tell you, I appreciate all the extra work that you did. I was there and watched you be strong enough as a leader in there to say that was wrong, this is wrong, and you fixed it immediately, saving everybody a bunch of trouble. I watched you do it over and over again, so thank you for that. I'm gonna change things up here a little bit because I didn't even notice, we're so busy starting, we don't have the directors on here, so I'm gonna jump around to directors in between. Would you like to start off? Yeah, I don't have you on here, so.
right on the back.
I have a back?
Yep.
Okay,
That's it, Dan. He's 415, I'm 41.
that's why you're doing it. Okay, so never mind, we're gonna stick to the list. I didn't see I had a back. Okay, so next up I have Steve Dunkel.
Okay.
Mr. Auditor, please.
Update for the auditor's office. So we'll start with Financial Services Department, and our CFO, Leo Kim, and financial analyst Robin Redmond, and our CPA and I have been working on defining a couple projects aimed at enhancing some of our internal controls, and so we'll be bringing those forward to the audit committee and to you guys. In the licensing and recording world, we've got U.S. passport service fully integrated now, and our calendar for passport appointments is getting more and more full. We continue to promote Fraud Notify service. I hope everybody in here by now has signed up for Fraud Notify.
I'm going to.
Okay. If you haven't, that's your homework assignment for today. And we've also started up quarterly meetings with our sub-agents, North Mason County Chamber of Commerce and Shelton Tabs and Titles, to make sure we're doing everything we can to help them provide great service to the public. Over on the election side of the house, you know, we've been preparing for 2024 starting back in December 2023, and we've been really I think successful implementing a host of security enhancements as a result of our work that we're doing with and through tabletop exercises with our sheriff and his department, with Washington State Patrol, with the Office of Secretary of State, with Homeland Security, with our Department of Emergency Management, and our very own Dave Wyndham over there in the Health Department. So we're excited for this election. It's going to be the best election we've ever had, and my prediction is the staff is going to have the best time they've ever had in their entire lives with this election. So stand by. You ready for that?
Yep.
We again have our temporary vote center open up in Belfair, and we're actually looking forward to, or hoping to see, about 200 to 300 voters go through the Belfair Vote Center this election. And with that, we've been working with Mason Transit. We're going to have shuttle service to the vote centers here in Shelton and in Belfair as a trying to make the whole system more accessible for everybody. And let's see what else. Looking ahead, we're always looking for a bigger space, and so conversations continue with Kelly and Mark about how we might find a new piece of real estate sometime, somewhere, some way down the road in the future to move the elections operation. I think that's all I got.
Excellent, thank you very much. Next up, we're gonna go to the, Mr. Clerk, Charles Rhodes.
Okay. We are working upstairs into the old jail. Boxing. I will be working with Tanessa Knoll, who's our new grant writer, who is going to assist in sections of grants that we can apply for, which is $50,000 increments. The project upstairs is about $350,000 to do it all. I have approximately 2,970,000 images that has to be done up there. We have the preparation of records as well as the indexing of all records is 147,000 by itself. Okay, we understand that our county being as small as it is, it's difficult to be able to say, okay, you write us a check. It doesn't quite work that way. So we currently right now are trying to create spacing where we can file without, the staff getting, paper cuts upstairs. So that being said, I have put it out for about 3 different companies to give us an estimate of what it would cost to do the scanning, the digitizing, and that's our main goal right now is to get all of that digitized and scanned in. For them to maintain the records as it's digitized, they charge me $275 a month just for the privilege of, that's what I'm showing here, just for the privilege of maintaining our records. So that being said, that's probably going to cost us, but as far as the archiving of our old historical records, that stuff will be done through Secretary of State. They will be archiving that. We're in the process of putting that together for them. They will be taking it out probably next week or the week after. So I have 2 employees up there. They both have legal experience. So they are coming. They have they're organizing our old jail. So we're real excited to see what I've been here 21 months and I haven't seen the wall of any of those where the files are located. So another thing, and since Steve brought it up, I'll bring it up. We could really use space. So that's just FYI,
So could we?
I knew where we was going with it. So,
District court moves.
so yeah, as soon as district court moves, there's two doors there that are cells that I'd love to have. Just saying, right? So that's our big project that we're working on right now, and we're real excited about that. We have a full clerical staff, so we're real excited about what's happening there, and everybody in our office is kind of on board as far as what we have to do for getting this done, because we've been working on this now for, oh my goodness, a month and a half. So, and we still, I just ordered 300 more boxes. We probably are going to need another 600 on top of that. So, that being said, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Charles. So just so you know, you have an actual superstar when it comes to archiving and getting all those boxes and cabinets and everything all out. Maybe give Kel a call. She's done tens of thousands of pages by now. Literally, it's not a joke, it's real. We used to be afraid that the roof was gonna fall in, it was holding so many and they're gone. So you have experience over there. Next up, Jamie Taylor.
Hello. Well, the exciting thing for our office right now is that all of my investigators have gone through training and they are all certified as medical legal forensic death investigators. So they went through CJTC and everybody is up to where we need to be in 2025 to meet the new laws. One of my employees went further and got board certified. As I'm board certified as well. So we've got some good staff in our office that has a lot of training. We've been super busy. Our space is nice. We could always use some bigger space as well, but
I heard there's some space in the courthouse.
yeah, it's great. We're finishing up on our accreditation for our office right now, so our office is getting accredited as well. So we will have accredited forensic death investigation office through nationally. So those are kind of the cool things that we're going through, and my apologies for being late. I was working and I didn't get notified of the meeting that it was today, so sorry. Apologies.
All right, thank you. Judge Steele.
Okay, as far as the district court goes, there's a few points, and I'll try to go through this quickly. As everybody's probably heard, the Supreme Court's getting ready for new public defense standards. That is going to impact the courts. It's going to impact our court. How that happens remains to be seen. There should be, what I understand, sometime in November is when they make a decision. I could be wrong.
November 13th is what it's set right now.
Anyway, moving on. Building 10, and we're all excited about that. That we need to give the administrator of the courts 8 weeks notice. We are making a survey as far as furnitures we need and things along those lines, and what we can take with us and what we're going to need to replace. And we've already briefed that, and also gave the 2 briefings technically, once for our budget, once is just an informational briefing a few weeks before. Staff's preparing as time allows, and in order to help the transition work, we are in the process of working with Shelton Municipal Court to get a memorandum of understanding so we can use their courtroom. Judge Greer does a lot of our calendars like infractions anyway, so my thought is he'll still do those calendars, he can just do them in the municipal court. We still need to work out insurance, we need to work out liability, and I think that's been forwarded on by now to executive branches of the county and the executive branch of the city. We're working on Blake cases as far as we have quite a few, roughly 2,000 that need to be processed. We're working on that. Sounds like that is going fairly well. The first batch of orders came in today. Being trial week and all the trials going away except maybe one, I'll have some time to start signing as soon as they're put on my desk. We are looking at a new case management system. The current one we have is JAS, which is a DOS-based program. It is near the end of its service life. Once all the courts are transitioned over, JAS is going to go away. So we're anticipating this spring we're going to be looking at making the transition over. At least that's what we have. That'll be certain degree up to AOC. We're going to be short-staffed. We have one person who just left on maternity leave. Another person will be on medical leave. The maternity leave person we expect back on the 4th of February. The person's going to be out on a medical procedure, be from December 12th to January 27th. I'd knock on wood, but there really isn't any wood here that I'm aware of. I think it's all fake. We're picking up the slack and we're doing the best we can. Also, our court administrator is leaning towards the possibility she's had enough and will be retiring, so we're going to be looking at replacement in all probability, and won't start until she gives a word and make it official. That's it.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, Mr. Dorsey.
Well, we, like most of us, continue to try to do probably too much with not enough. We still are short 2 attorneys without any real reason to be optimistic that that's going to change anytime soon. Obviously, lightning can strike. We had one that applied that had to take and pass the bar exam at the end of July, and he didn't. And we had another apply right after the bar results were released, and we called the day she applied and set an interview for that Thursday, and by Thursday she canceled and had taken a job somewhere else. And those are the two recent activities as far as that goes. But our knuckles are white, but we're hanging on tight, and we're managing. We just finished one homicide or murder trial a week ago Friday. We've got another one starting this coming Tuesday, so it's frying pan to the fire next, one after another. They're all lined up between now and the end of the year, so keep you posted.
All right, thank you. Ryan Spurley.
I'm gonna set a timer so I make sure I don't go over. There's a lot going on, I gotta tell you. I just grabbed a piece of paper this morning. First off, I see how hard each one of the elected officials and department heads are working for this county and for our community, so thank you. I mean, Steve came to a couple of my meetings and gave briefings to the citizens on the election cycle, and there's just, everybody's out there working so hard, so I'm super proud to be part of a team like this. And it's meaningful when we're all rowing in the same direction, trying to get what's best for the community. Did want to thank the commissioners as well for settling contracts both on the patrol side and the jail side. That's a really big deal for us. We'll be looking at some other incentives that we may be able to put into place to steal people from other jails while we're doing well in the contract. So
Employees, not residents.
okay, I'll take that.
6 of 1.
I was in the jail yesterday, and we implemented in September a new system called CTEL, and as a result, it's kind of an interesting thing. I was told by other sheriffs going to meetings that it would reduce our fights, reduce our lawsuits, reduce our complaints, and it's already doing that. As a matter of fact, our mental health provider in the jail is asking, what's going on? Nobody's asking for an appointment anymore, and it has to do with they now have these little devices that they can get on and text. It's all controlled, and they can do something with their hands that gives them something to do. So it's already making an impact. I'm interested to see how it turns out long term. Hopefully it'll reduce lawsuits as well, and those type of things, because it keeps them busy. Reduces fights, because they're not fighting over a channel on a TV or something like that. So we hope, and I'll be following that as we go. Some of the things that we're looking at this next year is we are looking at implementing what is called, it may be changed, but a set team, which would be a proactive team. We're looking at pulling 2 people, maybe 3 out of the schedule, and they don't answer calls for service. They just go and be proactive in areas of our community that's getting nailed. Whether it be criminal activity or speeding or whatever it is, we can actually get proactive in nature, because we're not going to have enough people to really do that with our crews. They're answering so many calls. Our calls for service are up again. Last year we did 26,000. It looks like we're projecting quite a few this year as well. So that may make an impact, and when other elected officials hear something from somebody as a concern, we'll have a system for you to be able to send that over, and then you'll be able to go to that area and spend some resources to maybe make an impact on that. Next thing is the DARE program. We are one of 4 agencies in the state of Washington. We just sent Deputy Coldenson to Oklahoma City to become a DARE certified instructor. DARE is rebranded. It's no longer drug awareness resistance education. It is a decision-making model that kids are taught to deal with mental health, to deal with bullying, to deal with drugs, all of the different things that they're dealing with. And it's an exciting thing. We'll have our first DARE program in January at Pioneer School, and I talked to all the superintendents in the county besides Shelton superintendent, and they are super excited to have it next year in their school. And we have our CU, or our Community Credit Union, that wants to be the #1 sponsor of that. So we're excited about that. We're investing in those kids, so excited about that coming up. This spring we will have a gold class again. I know that Jennifer got to go through it as a county employee separate from the sheriff's office, so that is
the West Point Model Leadership class. That's a 120-hour class that we stuff into 80 hours. So if you want to see how, if it's beneficial to any of your employees, talk to Jennifer or talk to us, because she can give you the firsthand opinion as to how it went. I was at Fire District 12 meeting last night. Man, we're in a different place at Fire District 12, let me tell you. We're in a different place. That's exciting out there. It was just a really good meeting. We are, at this point, I just met with the Shelton Police Department chief, the new Squaxin Island Police chief, and we talked with the Skoke Police chief. We're really looking at trying to combine our training, including them and some of the training that we're doing, because when stuff goes bad, we're all working together at the street level anyway, so why not train together? It's just a hard thing of getting everybody's schedules together. We've got Toys for Tots coming up. We have Shop with a Cop coming up. Anybody wants to be involved with that, those are super fun. And then we had our new command vehicle unveiled at Oyster Fest, Charlie's Vision, and citizens did a great job. Super excited to have that.
Wonderful. All right, next up, I don't see him here, but I think we have a guest speaker on their behalf. Superior Court, Judge Cobb, Judge Goodell, Judge Stevens, or Patty McGuire.
So the news in Superior Court is we have made an offer to a new court commissioner. Current commissioner, Teresa Butler, is going to become a judge, barring some calamity in that she's unopposed. So in all likelihood, it's going to be a Superior Court judge, and so we have made an offer to have a new court commissioner. We'll be able to start on a pro tem basis in December and learn the ropes and then become official on January 1st. So we're excited about that. And other than that, just preparations for moving around and as Building 10 work happens and taking over programs downstairs and in the courthouse and the whole new world of that. So that's all we've got.
Thank you.
And a lot of trials, that's keeping us busy too.
Next up, we have the one that's brought in more extra cash than we've seen in a long time, Madam Treasurer.
Well, I'd like to take credit for that, but I will take good stewardship of that. How's that sound? It's October, so second half taxes are due on October 31st, and we are starting to see the influx of property tax payments come in. So we are working that way. My office has been working with the Auditor's Financial Services and Jennifer in the budget office on the chart of accounts update. That project is taking an inordinate amount of time for my staff, and all of our energy has been focused on that. We are now moving into a critical transition stage with that, so we have another meeting this afternoon. We'll see where we go with that. But that has taken a lot of our resources and time. It's a huge, huge project. Other than that, we're busy. We've been fielding a lot of the assessors' phone calls and forwarding them on.
And then when they get to our side, they say they want their taxes. So it's
Right. It goes back and forth. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But they did go out, and so we've been fielding those phone calls and sending them over to them. There's always that disconnect between what the assessed value is and what their property taxes are, and so we're always answering those questions back and forth. Other than that, I'm currently fully staffed as that goes. Can we use extra help? Absolutely. Can we use more space? Absolutely. But we work with what we have, and we're doing great. I appreciate all the support that we have from all of the offices and so forth. So we're doing good.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Next up, we have Indigent Defense, Peter Jones.
Okay, so the doom approaches. Judge Steele alluded to it. November 13th, the fact that the Supreme Court specifically pushed out the decision on the standards until after the election gives me a pretty fair indication that they're going to adopt the standards. Adoption of the standards is not great. It is going to require a massive expansion of the department. The good news is that we have, I think we've got 2025 lined up to where we can deal with 2025.
2025 is a baby step compared to 2026, which is a full-size step, and then 2027, which is a pole vault. And then 2028 is just landing on concrete. This is going to vastly impact our entire criminal justice system. The fact of the matter is there aren't enough attorneys in Washington State, even if we were to pump all of the resources that we have into this, there wouldn't be attorneys there to hire. The expansion like this would mean that King County literally has every currently practiced criminal attorney and still wouldn't be able to fill King County's needs, let alone the rest of us. So we are really looking into the abyss here. And I don't know what it's going to look like over the next couple of years, but it's going to get bad. We've had a couple of meetings with a group of us trying to figure out ways to divert cases, ways to deal with them before they get assigned to my office. There's been some success on that, but not a lot. I'm glad to hear of the SET team. Hopefully that kind of proactivity will lead to a suppression of crime as opposed to a response to crime. And I am hoping that public health will step in, because I will tell you that 95% of the cases we have are addiction related. And the best possible thing we could do to avoid cases is to drive down addiction. And so I know public health has been meeting with some people at the state level. I'm just going to let them talk about that. But that's going to be our best bet, is to put people in a position where they're not committing crime in the first place, because we are not going to be able to respond to all the crimes. All of my numbers right now are based on the 2023 numbers. I'll be updating them to look at 2024, but as you just heard from Mike, both 2023 and 2024 are low prosecuting attorney numbers, where they're doing what they can with a minimal staff. And so all of the crime that is happening in Mason County and getting reported by the sheriff's office or other law enforcement agencies is not being prosecuted simply because they're low staff. And so they're already picking and choosing. And then of the things that they have picked and choose, we're going to have to filter out a bunch of that, because we're not going to have defense staff for it. And a bunch of cases are going to start getting dismissed. Again, I don't think that's happening in 2025, but the shift is coming. 2026 looks bad, and 2027 looks absolutely horrendous. So unless something different happens on November 13th than I'm expecting, we're really going to have to start thinking about how we look at criminal justice as a whole. And I don't know that there are any answers out there. There's just damage control.
Peter, we know that you've been carrying a lot of weight on your shoulders with this stuff and losing sleep on it even.
Yeah.
Just know that you're very much appreciated, and we understand that you're in the middle of this fire. Okay, next up, Central Services, the incredible Diane Sommer.
Morning. As Mark said, I'm prepping for retirement, so we're just working on filling positions and training. And this morning, TJ and Kelly just have some updates from our area.
Morning. So I'm going to start with giving you a little preview of the website. So the website is moving along. It's on track to be completed the beginning of next year. So this is the main page, and as you can see, has a nice clean look, very efficient. You can see some news releases, very little clutter. That's the big thing that we're going for here. This is what your department pages will look like. Very much similar. Very clean and efficient, and that's what we want people to focus on, is reducing the amount of words you have on your website, narrowing it all down, getting it efficient looking. Because the truth is, people don't read They're not gonna go through and read your whole website, you know, unless you have a legal reason to cite an RCW, it's probably not needed to be on there. So we're just looking for clean efficiency. With that, oh, I'll stop sharing.
So is that all you have for us, or?
No, let me get to
One more.
this.
Oh, more up.
Okay, incident response plan. As you know, the purpose of this plan is to identify what your department needs in the event we have a cyber attack. I've sent out a form to everyone. So far, we've gotten 13 out of 21 people to actually respond to that plan. So I would really like more engagement on that, getting your plans back. And especially if you're a department that has multiple departments underneath of you, you know, each one of those need their own plan. And then once that is complete and I have those plans, I will be meeting with each and every one of you to go through and shore up those plans. Because with or without you, we are going to be doing the test early next year, which will consist of an hour-long outage. And you should probably be prepared. I noticed as we're going around the room here, so far a lot of you have mentioned things about technology that you're excited about and that have made your life easier. So we need to identify what you're going to do if that technology is not available.
So there will be an hour that the network is shut down and you do not have access. All of our phones are VoIP phones, so phones don't work for an hour.
Can we make it longer? Sounds like.
Some of you might enjoy the time, others may not, but it's super important to plan for it, right? And the best way to kind of understand the impact of what that is to actually shut it down. So we are going to do that, and we'll try and coordinate best as we can, but just be aware that it's coming, and we've kind of warned you that it is coming, and please submit a response.
Yeah, that'll help flesh out any holes we have in our plan. I mean, the average time for an outage is going to be 2 weeks, so we have to be prepared for that. So making it an hour, it should be pretty easy for us. Give you some ideas, some current stats, 30-day threat stats. Our firewalls blocked 1.9 million intrusions in 30 days. 9 viruses, which is actually impressively low, and almost 100,000 botnet attacks. So email, we've processed almost 100,000 emails in 30 days. 36,000 of those were phishing emails.
Seems right.
Yeah.
Solid 40%.
So as you've probably noticed, cyber awareness training, I've been blasting you guys with training every single day.
I don't trust it.
Yeah.
It's a phishing.
Yeah. I hope you guys are all taking. I mean, everyone in this room is a priority target. We're the face of the different departments. We're the ones they would love to have. So all people that should be taking it's everyone in this room. And I encourage you to have your staff take it too. So, you know, a 4-minute training could save us weeks of downtime and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's critical. We're currently running at 19% completion, which is a little low. I'd like to get those numbers up.
I went on there and it said I had no training available. I clicked on your link.
Look at the library.
Look in the library. It's not mandatory training, that's why it's showing in the library.
So I went to the wrong.
Yeah.
You did something good.
All done.
Okay.
Thank you. So I looked at how to get some of the engagement up, and one of the things I came across was treating your cyber campaign like a marketing campaign. So I created Cyber. You're going to start seeing him in a lot more of our emails going out as a branding for IT. This will give you some confidence that...
Shave his head, he looks just like you.
Yeah. If you see a bear in an email, then you're pretty confident that it came from us, because the likelihood of someone hacking us and impersonating us, but also including the bear, it's pretty rare. So you'll see some of this being used in our campaign. The final thing, I built this map. This is data of county attacks since 2015. This is only counties that actually submitted a claim. This is the timeline clicking along. As you can see, Benton County's having a hard time down there. But about 2021, you see it start to go nuts. And
So I take it, once it gets in, once it just keeps coming back, or it's
Or
weaker, it has the
safer,
ability where it
yeah.
stays in there?
yeah. So the main thing you'll notice on this map is we're not on it.
Atta babe.
So with your guys' support and training and everything, I hope to keep it that way. But it's, you guys to help me out. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you, TJ.
What you got?
I got the motor pool. So in the motor pool, I've got a couple things to go over is the cleanliness of vehicles. We're having a tough time. I walk around the vehicles and some of them are so clean. I want you to know that there's a vacuum right over here behind ID, and we can use the car wash up at Valvoline. You show them your maintenance card, you get to go through the car wash. It comes back, it gets charged to your department, but there's no reason we can't go through that. Incidents, if you have an incident, we have 24 hours to get that to HR or to risk. So if you bump into a curb or you put a little dent in your car, or whatever the case may be, you've got to turn that incident into risk. Summit Towing is our new towing company. Jim's Towing is no longer around. I went to all your vehicles besides the cop cars. And in your yellow envelope inside your glove box, I put a Summit Towing card, so if we need issue, you have their phone number. Oh, I need to know what your next needs are for your next vehicle. It's coming up. We're on 4 years, so what do we want to do there? Do we want to do SUVs again? Some of us, do we want to do trucks? What do we do with truck? Do we need a canopy? That kind of stuff is going to be very helpful for me and Mark, and to go over to figure out what we're going to need and what year that goes in. Gas cards. You need to train your new employees how to get gas. And you need to give me an email or something that person needs to be able to get gas. So I gotta put their name in with a 4-digit code that is usually their employee number so they can get gas. So we had a couple people go to training, they weren't in there, they couldn't get gas. Thank goodness they called me, I gave them my number, was able to get gas.
So that's gonna be build the facilities now?
I just gave them my number, not their card number.
Oh.
They still had to use the card, just my number. Act like I was there getting gas. The cars are creeping up on 40,000 miles, so we're looking at tires here pretty quick on some of them, especially those ones going to Belfair a lot. 40,000 miles is about the max of those tires get. So if you're at that and we need tires, get a hold of me, we get them put in and we'll get new tires put on. And then if there's just any needs, give me a call, shoot me an email. We're out there for you. We come and do oil changes, I don't wanna say daily, but almost daily. We take cars in all the time, so give us a shout and we'll be there to help you out.
Does it have to be a county car?
It does have to be a county car. I have had people ask me about the county vacuum over there. It's like, what, do you use your personal vehicle for county use?
Take it to conference.
We have citizens that use that vacuum often. Weekends.
And
you'll see
sometimes
people
not
in
just for
here.
cars.
I know.
Is that all you got, or do you have anything?
That's all I got on motorboat. Why are you doing it? The next one, right now?
Yep.
The next one is for the Mason County Employees Group. So we've grown. We have a meeting every third Wednesday. If you would like to join, I encourage you to come and join. We got a lot of things going on. So we did the big barbecue. It was fun. Never in my wildest dream did I think there'd be that many people show up. We went back to the store like 5 times, but it was fun, and we plan on doing it again. The pumpkin carving, decorating thing is coming up. We went and got pumpkins, so that's close. It is the next day after elections, or the day of elections. Can't remember how that worked. So we're gonna do it out, we're gonna set the tables up outside. New rule, 2x2 area, that's all you get for your pumpkin. 2x2, can't grow any higher than that. Bingo, bingo's been a huge success. I've heard a lot of good things about bingo going I think we got a couple more prizes, so I believe we're gonna do that some more, so watch your bingo cards, and we've had a lot of people having fun with that.
We should set up cybersecurity training, so you have to take the training before you
You know
can
what,
get the bingo.
it's funny you say, I just thought about that when he was doing that.
I
How
like
can
that
we get
idea.
that involved? To get your bingo card, you have to take the cyber test, so. Make that happen.
How about make those over?
We have the tree lighting coming up again this year, so we're excited about that. We have the Christmas bake sale coming up again this year, like we always do. So I encourage you to bring something for that, come buy something, tell your staff, it's a good time.
He was
Along with
asking,
that, we do that.
he was asking when the tree lighting.
Do you know when it is?
I don't know a
Okay,
date yet.
got it.
We have a meeting, like maybe tomorrow. Food and hygiene drive, that's always been a huge success for us. We've always gave to the food bank. We usually split that up between North and here, so that's a huge success to do that. We have the book drive going on. If you haven't seen it, if you're a big reader, go check the books out, bring a book, leave a book. It's been very successful. We have a Pass the Envelope coming up for Christmas. We've not determined who that's gonna go out to yet. But if you have an idea, come to a meeting, email me, whatever. If there's somebody in need or an organization in need, that we can help do that. We have donation right out of your check, so you can donate, I think as little as $5 and as much as you want per check. And I think we got like 20 participants in that, so we're doing very, our account is bigger than it's ever been. I don't know exactly where it's at, but we have money, and that's how we're able to pay for the barbecues and do other things we're doing. Third Wednesday of every month is the meeting, and come join if you like. That's all I have.
Thank you. Diane, do you have anything else for us?
No, that's it.
And one thing I want to say with Diane leaving, it's easy to talk about the different weight we're going to have. One of the things you're going to find, though, is something we never would even think about until it happens to you. And that's that things don't automatically just get figured out, so somebody's going to have to figure it out. What I mean by that is having history is something you can't buy. And what you have to do is you have to outwork it. So when we can't go to Diane and say, so what did we actually do here? How did that work? That means it's going to take a lot of time. And another thing, there's gonna be a lot of things left in the middle of the table, a pool table with a short leg on one side, everything ends up going into one pocket. Well, that pocket's gonna be filled up, there's nowhere for it to go, so a lot of it's gonna sit there until somebody gets it. So just know that you're more than appreciated, and there's gonna be a lot other than just what you've done that everybody knows about for work, that's gonna come out very quickly. So thank you for everything, Diane, on that. Next up, I have Kel Ron.
Okay, so, I think the last time we did this, I talked about our inspectors going out in the field and transitioning from paper to digital. So they have successfully done that, and now all of our inspectors have laptops and are able to do correction notices directly into the computer, and they're not having to come back and give it to another person that then types it into the system and loses information in translation. So that's good and successful. We're happy about that. We are looking to replace our building official who left in August, I believe. And so we have two good candidates we're considering. And we'll also be adding a enforcement person on our building side of things. Our office will be shut down for the day for our biannual training on Halloween. And that's it.
Thank you. Next up, Mary, HR.
Good morning.
Hi, back there somewhere.
Hi, I'm here, Kathy. So contracts, we got all of them settled ahead of time in 2024, which was awesome. We have 3 to negotiate in 2025, and we are getting our Learn program up with NeoGov. That will be our new learning management system for the county. So once it's up and running, we'll reach out to each department and see how you'd like to utilize it, if at all. But it would be kind of, instead of having certs in personnel files and trainings, it'll be kind of creating a transcript, and employees can go there to access their trainings, register for them, etc. So it'll be a good program, but that's all we've got going on.
Thank you. Next up, I have Dave Whitman.
Okay, so if you missed it Friday, you missed a good time. We did our open house for our new building. So that's been a big thing for us in 2024. And that gives us the ability to, we moved community health and vital statistics up to the new building, which is up on the hospital grounds. And we moved the scanners downstairs so they have lots of room downstairs where they can work and keep that weight from over our ceilings up. So they're making big progress there. And we're expanding our environmental health staff so that they're not in closets anymore. We're actually getting them out into where they can actually have some space. Coming soon, we're going to be expanding into clinical services at our new building. So we'll be looking at a family planning / STD clinic going in up there. And then we are going to be expanding into mobile health, so mobile health and then mobile mental health. We're going to be taking public health out of the office, on the road, and getting out into the county where it really is a new service delivery model. So we're working on those two things. Those are going to be our two big things for 2025. The really new business model, so we're kind of starting from scratch on those. We do have a communication center we're putting together with microphones, cameras, that kind of stuff, which will be available to the county to use. If you want to come in and do a podcast, you want to be able to do video production, we will have a small area where we can do that and people who can help out with that. So to get messaging out for the county, for us, for public health, it'll be a big deal, but it's available for others to use as well. So we're working on that, hope to have that up and running within the next 2-3 weeks. Get your flu shots, it's that time, flu shot time. And then we do have some COVID test kits. We have them behind the counter. You have to ask for them. If you need them for your county employees, let us know. We'll bring you some COVID test kits. They're 2 per box, so it's not the 5 per box that we had. And this is a completely different one than we had in the past. So it's a different way of doing it. Anyway, it's a COVID test kit. We have them. Let us know if you need them, and we'll give them to you.
Thank you. Next up, I have Loretta.
Well, similar to many of the other departments, we are going through records and shredding and documenting and archiving and getting out of the 18th century up in our building.
Yeah.
So that's been a fun process and big. You might imagine that over the years we've accumulated quite a bit between different departments merging and unmerging, and so lots of cleanup happening there. We're coming up on a year for our new finance manager being in her position, Stephanie Berman. And Stephanie has implemented a tremendous amount of financial controls and separations of duties, and just really done a great job in tuning things up and moving our finance team to the next level. They did a great job and continue to do a great job, and just excited to see how that continues to move forward. On the admin side, let's see what else. Oh, we're working with Mary and her team to take a look at a conversion of an existing administrative position to a public work procurement specialist. And part of that is for our own internal needs, to help kind of reorganize how things are happening administratively, and potentially serve as a resource to the rest of the county as well, as kind of a resident expert on procurement. Kind of to speak to Commissioner Netherland's point, that's one of the hats I think that Diane has been filling for the county in general, kind of as a go-to about, hey, how do we buy this service or do these fun things? So hope to move that forward. And let's see, what other fun things? Commissioners created the first RID in how many years, Commissioners? A very long time.
50.
Right, yeah, so just a big shout out and thank you to auditor, assessor, treasurer's office. That process touches a lot of different departments and will continue to as we move through the final formation. sorry, attorneys too. We had great legal assistance on that, looking through all of the steps and making sure we're following.
What does
statute.
RID stand for?
Road Improvement District. Yeah, so it is a special purpose district where you form a boundary, and then the folks within that boundary are paying for a special service. In this case, it's upgrading a private road to become a county road. And right now, as we speak, we're creating havoc. We're rocking up the road right now, so moving forward on that. So again, a big thank you to the other departments on that collaboration. Another thing that I'd like to thank other departments on collaborating on was the work on some conversions that resulted as part of the Skokomish acquisitions. It resulted in converting some of the ag land uses, and that was kind of a little bit tricky to work through, and really, really appreciate the help on that front as well. And just quick touch on some projects. You've all heard, I'm sure, many times about our pavement, shoulder widening and improving that. That's a way of implementing our parks plan. So on paths and trails, we've identified over the years what are primary routes that are important to alternate transportation means. So I'm happy to be kicking through that and working our way through that. Matlock Brady will be, over the next couple, 3 years, we'll have whitened shoulders all the way out to the county lines. So that's really, really exciting. We're having a real big emphasis on Harstein Island in the next 2 or 3 years as well. So there's need for definitely some widening and improvement out there. And so they serve multiple purposes. I know you've heard me say it before. It also serves safety, makes safety improvements as well. So I guess that is about it.
Excellent, thank you.
Oh, sorry, utilities. I'm totally ignoring utilities, and that's been a ton of the work for the department this year. We've, the solid waste contract, I know we talked about that before, but Possum Belly Trailers will be showing up here soon with a whole automated scaling process, which will help improve efficiencies and make sure that we're maximizing what we are putting into those loads and shipping off. So that's very important in terms of stabilizing rates for our ratepayers. And we did a lot of rate work and outreach with our communities, and we will be continuing to do that rate work as we implement our metered water rates. And we signed a loan with the Public Works Board just recently for the extension of the Belfair sewer system. And that loan, it's amazing. Jan and I were thinking about the financial position of that fund 2 years ago versus where we sit today. And kudos to all of the folks around this table that have helped put us on a strong path to make sure that we're becoming financially self-sufficient in that fund. And we're darn near there, so that's exciting, very exciting news.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have Dan.
Well, I appreciate everyone and always being last. Look forward to going first next time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, actually, before we even start that, we'll let staff know if we can, we'll just reverse the order next time around. Start from the bottom and.
We can do that.
Sorry, Dan.
But you're good. So tomorrow,
That was Patty's idea, by the way.
tomorrow we're actually offering an online septic systems workshop with our public health department, informing citizens on how to maintain and keep your septic system up to code, which is fantastic. Please let us know if you're interested, or please get the word out about that. We offer that a few times a year. Through the Garden Gate is our Master Gardeners professional development trainings that offer to the community. January is when that starts, goes through March. It's Saturday, always well attended. Over 100 usual residents participate in that. It's a great opportunity to get some skills in gardening happening in the wintertime. Food safety is a big thing, as you're well aware. Food preservation and safety in this county, and our office does offer food safety consultation as well as pressure gauge checks. So if you know anyone who cans, please get your pressure gauge checked annually. We did have a botulism case in Grays Harbor a few years ago. It did result in a death. So please, we take food safety preservation very seriously. 4-H's new year kicked off October 1st, so happy new 4-H year. Yesterday or Sunday afternoon, we hosted our achievement program and our bingo activity. Very well attended, and it's always good to see these 4-H families re-engaging again. Last week, we had our 4-H Tech Change Makers, who are our teens, who like to help teach technology to citizens in the county. Actually kicked off the Future of Work Summit at Great Wolf Lodge. Over 200 employers in the area were there, looking at the potential workforce, what it looks like in the future. And here's a picture of our 3 Mason County 4-Hers kicking off the event. Proud 4-H supporter here of that, and a proud dad. My daughter's in the middle. So pretty exciting that Mason County is well represented with some teens. These are your future leaders right here, taking the job that you're talking about and making Mason County a great place to live and work. Some upcoming things, some recap things. Oyster Fest is always a big activity for us. We had a Master Gardener booth as well as a noxious weed booth. We really want to get out there, getting people educated on what's happening in our community around that area. If you know anyone who's interested in serving on a noxious weed control board, let us know. We have 2 spots open. It's a 5-seat board. District 4, which is the Belfair area, and District 5, which is the Potlatch area. The board meets about quarterly to 5 times a year. They help set the weed list as well as kind of regulate the work that happens here. It is an RCW position. It is not paid, it's voluntary. But it is a really important thing for Mason County. And big kudos to Kelly for supporting our noxious weed crew that had 2 flat tires in one day up in Forest Service Road. So on a Friday afternoon. So I appreciate the support of the county in that area. Our Small Farms program is hosting Cultivating Success program. It's where people can learn whole farm planning. So people moving to Mason County looking to get supplemental income or farming can take this class. And they recently toured Skokomish Valley Farms. So participants from 5 counties around us came to Mason County to look at a great farming operation right here in Mason County. Last week, Thursday, we had a Board of Regents member from WSU come and learn all about county-based extension. I spent a whole day with her talking about what Grays Harbor County Extension and Mason County Extension looks like here in the county. And she left with an awe and appreciation of how county departments and county government partner with WSU to bring resources to the people where they live and work. So it's a fantastic partnership that we have here with Mason County. That's about it for now. So I appreciate the partnerships with everybody here. And if you are interested in our impact reports from this last few months, these are available for you as well. So I will pass these around. So thank you all.
Thank you, Dan. So your commissioners have been gracious enough to leave ourselves off of this, and save you some earache and some time. But we are available for this next part. Does anybody have questions of others that stuff you heard? Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to follow up on the senior parcel count, who can qualify. So in 23, when it was 40,000 and under, there was 1831 on the program, and 24, there was 2253. So about 420 people are able to qualify. So.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or anything to ask of anybody?
No.
Can I add
Yes.
something? Anybody who would like to come to one of our, I have 4 community meetings a month. Loretta's come out to one of them, Steve's come out, any of the other department heads or elected officials, I know Dave's come out in the past. You want to come, just let me know, because the citizens would love to hear from you what's going on in your department.
I might want to do that just to address any questions on the upcoming changes with public defense directly.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure there are citizens will question
And
about that.
there's a meeting. Yeah, there's a meeting in Belfair, a meeting in Spencer Lake, a meeting in Hoodsport, and a meeting in Mallard.
I'll shoot you an email.
Was ballot still going?
Yeah, I just had it last night. It's going to be in conjunction with the commission meeting, the first commission meeting. It'll be right after that. And it's going to be a little more informal in that one.
Other questions? Anybody? Then commissioners, this is still a meeting, so I'll entertain a motion. It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Hearing no objection, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
There were 4 of them, so first.